Are you struggling with feeling stuck in your life journey? Does it seem as if the challenges or conflicts that you keep experiencing are on repeat? Healing through feeling could be your new way through to a more satisfying life. Now, here's the host of the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide, Sharyn Nichols.
Welcome, everyone, to today's show. We are talking about force and power, and you are listening to me, Sharyn Nichols, the Feel to Heal show on the Incredible Inspired Choices Network. And I am so excited to talk about this topic. I chose this topic because I've had this book, Power versus Force, sitting on my shelf for years now. Have not really actually read it. I've skimmed it. I read the back. So I have an idea of what it's about. However, I've been thinking about power and I've been thinking about force and what it actually is and means and why we use it and how to use it appropriately so we actually can be powerful beings rather than forceful beings, because we've been so conditioned to think that force is power when it actually really isn't. Force is using force by trying to control others usually ends up backfiring. A quote, by controlling, so when we've been conditioned to think that force is power, an example, by controlling others with force is false material that's always been backed up by true reason. So true power comes from the spirit and is attained through personal development and spiritual practices. In all of my investigation, I, of course, came across Oprah. And I love Oprah because Oprah explains that when people speak about power, they are generally referring to the dominating view of power over others or getting people to do what you want them to do. And so she shied away from it. She didn't like that sense of power. That's not what she signed up for. That's not, and I think that's what we all have in our heads as to what we believe power should be. So when she finally realized that her power was to have an impact that benefited others, then she fell in love with the idea of being powerful. And so for me, I said yes to this show because I wanted to use my power to benefit others. So instead of, now going back to Oprah, instead of power over people, she uses her power for people, because power over is vertical, literally over. So you're looking down. You're looking down on someone. So power as an impact is horizontal. So you're influencing the world outward, from where you stand. So whether you're impacting your family, your work group, your community, or the world, you are wielding your power. So the more that you can accept that you are powerful, the more good you can do. So power has actually been talked about a lot. I chose the color yellow on purpose because yellow is the third chakra, which is the solar plexus, which is our power center. which is about strength and flexibility. Your core is your strength and your flexibility. So the most powerful people are the ones who are truly flexible, that can move within their power, that are not trying to use force to get things done. I think we've been so conditioned to believe that the only way that we can get anything done is to force. So David R. Hawkins, Dr. David R. Hawkins, he is the one who wrote the book Power versus Force. And this little blurb that I found, he explains human psychology using chaos theory, nonlinear physics, dynamics, and particle physicals. So he focuses on, I know that's so said a lot and didn't really make a lot of sense to me either. So he focuses on how to understand the decisions humans make to help us better navigate the world. So he explains human consciousness free within the matrix of our reality and the forces outside of human control. So we know, so anyone looking to be humbled, fascinated by the human mind, will be fascinated by the truths within. So force is not power, according to him. Force is not power. That's why the title of the book is Force versus Power. And I chose to title the show Force and Power because I wanted to differentiate between the two, and obviously not copying David Hawkins, and talk about force as the importance of it, because force is actually energy. And energy is something that I've been talking about on and off for the whole year of my podcast with regards to how we show up and the fact that we actually have control over our actions and reactions. And that's energy. So when we try and force a reaction, or we try and force ourselves to show up in a certain way, we're actually being inauthentic. And therefore then it becomes a negative, and it's a takeaway. Because we have been conditioned to think that force is power. And by controlling others with force, we can get things done. We can wield. So when I love the expression wielding our power, positively, yes. Negatively, it's actually wielding our force, which usually, ultimately, does not give us the results that we actually truly want. So true power comes from the spirit and is attained through personal development and spiritual practices, which is also why I've done a meditation in every show. That is a spiritual practice. Meditating is a spiritual practice, bringing yourself to center, grounding. And so I've now also changed things up and not starting with the meditation, now moving it even farther out into the show, because it's actually now I'm using it as one of my tips and tools. And especially for this show with regards to power, meditation is so powerful. And so we're going to do a meditation on the third chakra and how powerful it is, and how you can use it to wield your power appropriately. So here's the other thing. Force is actually necessary. Although here's the trick, in small little doses. Because you cannot get power without using some force, because the force is actually the energy. So let's start using force positively. So setting a positive intention about creating a positive experience for yourself using your force, using your energy force, your energy. I guess I have not come up with another word. Force creates the momentum. So it's, what is it? I think it's energy is like MC squared, force equals MC squared. And sorry, not an engineer, although it all comes back down to energy and how we use it. And so you can, what is it? Is it Spider? Yes, it's Spider-Man. It's about using your powers for good rather than evil. And I know that's so polarizing, good and evil, and don't even necessarily want to go there because that's not what I'm really referring to. It's just, you have all this incredible power within you. So let's use it positively. Let's use the forceful energy that you do have. Let's create this force field for yourself positively. Let's move out of this victim consciousness that we find ourselves in, and let's use our power for good. So force is equal to the change in momentum for change in time. And that's from NASA. Okay? So yes, we get the technicality of it. Although when I say we get it, yes, it's there, it's important, and we need to talk about it and acknowledge it. Although I'm talking about the esotericness and the existentialness of force and power. It took me a really long time to embrace my power. I shied away from it. And I can go on to a whole diatribe of females and women and how we have been so conditioned to not be forceful. And I actually, in some of my research, I started reading an article about how we as women are taking the word bitch back. And we are actually it's now a positive thing to be called a bitch. And I get it. If you're using your power in a positive way, then being a bitch can be positive. I get it. I liked that. I liked that concept of us taking it back and us using it in a positive way. So we're going to go to our first break. Thank you so much for tuning in to myself, Sharyn Nichols, Feel to Heal show. And if you've liked anything that I have said or feel as though you have any comments or thinking that you would, could benefit from even working with me, I would love for you to reach out. Please go to my website, feeltoheal.com, or please email me, Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. I welcome all comments, questions, all of it. So thank you so much. See you back after the break.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Healing through feeling is possible. What if you could start living life as you were meant to before all the conditioning and trauma covered up your beautiful soul? What if your relationships could deepen through a more authentic connection to your feelings and others? A more satisfying, successful, and peaceful life is obtainable when you work with Sharyn Nichols, marriage and family therapist and life guide. Connect through her website, feeltoheal.com, or her email, SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com, to learn more about the Feel to Heal process. Isn't it time for you to start healing?
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to Feel to Heal show, talking about power and force, not versus, power and. And the other thing that I really want to mention about force is that force is actually necessary in small doses, because you cannot get power without using some force. Because here's the big thing: force creates the momentum. Force creates the energy. So just think about this. In order to be brave, you first need to actually be scared. And to overcome that would then be tapping into your power and to be powerful. So at first you need to feel powerless. I know it's a little maybe up here heady. However, it takes you forcing yourself to move from feeling powerless into tapping into your power to feel powerful. So it just takes a little bit of force. It just takes a little bit of momentum. And that could be with affirmations. That could be with calling a friend, pulling a card, reading a book, just sitting in meditation, whatever it is that you need. So the force is the change. Although it doesn't have to be forceful like this. It's just an acknowledgement that you want to change the energy. So that's what the force is. So force is actually positive in this scenario. So what's also really important is you finding your frequency, your energetic frequency, knowing, figuring out, acknowledging, learning, experiencing, being aware of whatever word you need to use for yourself. Are you operating from a force, from a state of force or a state of power? So, I've said multiple times that I have 100% control over no control. So I don't have to force anything. I just allow. And so therefore, I am always in my power, because I always know that there is stability in change. Again, it doesn't take a lot for me I don't need to force things anymore. I literally, if I am now stuck in my head with a thought that I'm ruminating on that is just not serving me, so it's tapping me, or it's preventing me, not tapping me, it's preventing me from actually stepping into my power, I do what I can to change that, to pivot, to shift. So that's what I was referring to in terms of force. it just will take a little to just pivot, because that's all you need is a pivot. And yes, for those of you who, I have David Schwimmer from Friends as the character Ross, and they were all trying to carry the couch up the stairs and he's screaming, pivot, pivot. So I have that in my head as a trigger for me to stop taking myself so seriously and just start laughing at myself, because it takes so little, and yet we make it out to be so much and so big when it really doesn't have to be. I mean, when I just look at Oprah now, and yes, there's probably isn't anything that she can't do, and that is just because she is just so okay with who she is. At least that is my assumption. And so she just has this energy about her, which is also why so many people are drawn to her, because she uses her power for good. She uses her power and she teaches, she exemplifies, she uses herself as an example. She has overcome her own self. She's overcome her being a victim to the best of her ability, because she's still human. I'm sure she still gets triggered. How can she not? She's human. She still puts on her pants one leg at a time. And yet she has been a shining example for all of us, because if Oprah can do it, and that's also what she's been saying, if she can do it, so can you. And I've been saying that too. If I can do it, so can you. Because we all are human. We all came into the world the same way. Literally. Our first breath did not predetermine anything. And then, of course, as we grow and grew, we've then been conditioned. And I know I've talked a lot about our first early experiences, and this is where the conditioning comes in terms of to use force, because most of our parents, teachers, I mean, the way we were taught was through force, through discipline. Discipline was such a negative word for me, because discipline was about force. Like, I had to force myself to be disciplined. I had to force myself to sit and do my work. When if in actuality, I'd been given the opportunity to do my work at my own pace without being judged, it's quite possible that I would have been a better student. Because I know my grades never, ever actually matched my intelligence. That's a whole other story. Don't need to go there, really. It's just about me overcoming my conditioning. And like I said, if I can do it, so can you. So force, again, is reactive. And I know I've been talking about how we have control. We have choices, how we're going to act or react. And force usually comes from the lower based energies of shame and fear and anger. So power is about rising above that and coming to the higher based energies and being proactive. Not self-deprecating, being proactive. It comes from when we operate from a higher consciousness, which we all have access to. It's so easy to tap into it. And for me, I know it's easier for me to tap into my higher consciousness through my spiritual practice. Again, when I feel my mind going off, I'll bring it back. So I receive a breath, be in the present moment, not being stuck in the past or worrying about the future, just being here. And for those of you who are watching, my eyes are closed, because also closing my eyes and shutting off all the other all the stimulation that is going on around me is another tool. Obviously, don't do it while driving, please. Although at a red light or a stop sign, take a moment, close your eyes, and just bring yourself back to center. You are a powerful being. You have 100% control over no control, which means that you have 100% control all the time. And know that there is stability and change, and that wherever you are right now, things will change. They have to. They just have to. Because that is life. That's why we have news cycles and news reels every single day. And the news changes, even though it could be the same theme and the same thing over and over again. The news does change because it's about somebody else. And so we have themes. I've said this before, there's a finite amount of human themes that we all experience. Although there's always going to be change. And so you do have a choice as to where you want to participate. You get to choose. So if you try to force things to happen, I alluded to this in the beginning, there's a good chance that it will feel contrived and unnatural. And therefore, then it may even backfire on you. And then we start scrambling. And then we take some meaning on it. And then you're also setting yourself up then for failure. Because then, of course, you get to then keep proving your point to yourself. You get to continue to perpetuate this story that if you try to force yourself to be successful, you'll only end up annoying people and closing doors. And therefore, then there will be no opportunities for you. And then, yes, you get to continue that belief system for yourself. You get to keep finding the evidence because you've been trying to force it to happen. So just breathing and putting yourself in the right place at the right time, or even putting yourself in the wrong place at the right time, and not trying to force it. You know, when it comes to apologizing, you know, there's a lot of people who have the belief system that they'd rather just do it and apologize after rather than ask for permission. And so that to me is sort of putting yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time, or the right place at the wrong time. It's not that you need to ask for permission per se. It's just be open to the unfolding. And it's okay if someone says no. It's about the not forcing. So it's okay. No, to hear no, it's okay. So then you figure out a way to go over, under, around, or through. We're going to take our next break. And then when we come back, I'm going to ease us into our powerful meditation to really empower and open the third chakra, which is the solar plexus. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please reach out to me. Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com is my email. Check out my website, feeltoheal.com. I welcome all comments and questions, and I welcome it all. I really do. I love constructive criticism. So bring it on. Thank you so much. See you back here in a couple of minutes.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
Healing through feeling is possible. What if you could start living life as you were meant to, before all the conditioning and trauma covered up your beautiful soul? What if your relationships could deepen through a more authentic connection to your feelings and others? A more satisfying, successful, and peaceful life is attainable when you work with Sharyn Nichols, marriage and family therapist and life guide. Connect through her website, feeltoheal.com, or her email, SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com, to learn more about the Feel to Heal process. Isn't it time for you to start healing?
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. I'm so truly grateful that you are here. Good for you for doing something different. Good for you for tapping into your power for change, using your force positively by just listening to the sound of my voice, listening to some of the things that I am saying, and taking to heart what does resonate for you. Because I'm not really necessarily saying anything that you probably haven't already heard or you don't already know. And I'm truly okay with that, because I love every moment that I've had doing this show, because I research these topics, they work with me, and then I get to talk about them. And so I quite often will hear something and will bring it to the show to share because someone else has said it, because we're all connected. We are all one. And I truly do love that, because, and I don't agree with everybody, and I don't like how everybody says certain things, and that's also okay too. I am so okay with where you are and where I am. So thank you. Thank you so much for listening. And if anything that I have said resonates with you, or anything that you are going through, I'm here for you. So please reach out and let's work together. So with that all being said, we are now going to do a power chakra guided meditation that I found on do-meditation.com. So the solar plexus, or the Manipura, which refers to the third chakra, that's from the word Sanskrit, meaning lustrous gem in Sanskrit. It spins in the area above the abdomen, above the belly button, up to the breastbone. Solar plexus, the third chakra. And the third chakra connects to the fourth chakra, which is your heart. And then the heart to your throat, which is how you speak. So it's about using your power, going through your heart, and then coming out and speaking your truth. I digress. So personal power relates to your self-esteem, to the warrior energy, not the force in a negative way. It's the force that uses then the power for transformation. So let's all receive a breath and find yourself in a comfortable position, either seated or laying down. And when you are ready, allowing your eyes to close. Inhaling, exhaling, and just letting go of all the thoughts and feelings that you are holding on to that are just not serving you in this moment. And as you exhale, move your attention to the lower part of your chest, just below the sternum, and imagine a bright yellow light. The sun-like yellow glow of the chakra that spreads from your solar plexus to fill your chest first, and then the rest of your body. Imagine standing in an endless field of sunflowers, or any yellow colored flower that is swaying gently in the breeze. Feel the warmth of the breeze as the sky is a cloudless blue, and then allow the sun to bathe you in the warm field of flowers with its warm, nourishing rays. The sun is still nourishing. Now look up at the infinite expanse of sky and lock your eyes on the sun. Notice that the rays do not hurt your eyes. You actually find it soothing and quite pleasant to look at the sun. You find yourself rising and being pulled by the sun toward itself. The yellow fields are now far below, and you are flying faster and faster. Even the earth has become a ball of blue in the distance. You get closer to the sun and you register its true size for the first time. For all its heat and light, it looks warmingly inviting and eager to embrace you. You head straight for its center, you become one with the sun's core and can see all the planets revolving around you. Receive a breath. Now you see your third chakra spinning and gaining strength. As it spins faster, the yellow light washes over you, and it pervades, it goes into every cell, every pore in your body. Breathe deeply and feel the energy funneling down your spine to the third chakra. Rest in this awareness. When you are ready, gently start to float and fly again. This time toward the earth, riding on the sun's rays back to the field of yellow flowers. Look back at the sun and feel one with the sun. So now let's repeat in your head some affirmations. As I take on new challenges, I feel calm, confident, and powerful. I feel motivated to pursue my purpose. I am ambitious and capable. I forgive myself for past mistakes and I learn from them. The only thing I need to control is how I respond to situations. I have the courage to create positive change in my life. I stand in my personal power. Receive a breath. And know that at any time you can find yourself sitting, standing in the field of the yellow flowers. And when you are ready, allow your eyes to open and know your true essence, your true power. Thank yourself. We're going to go to break. And when we come back, I'm going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Inspired Choices Network. And I would love to hear from you. Check me out, my website, feeltoheal.com. See you back in a moment.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Healing through feeling is possible. What if you could start living life as you were meant to before all the conditioning and trauma covered up your beautiful soul? What if your relationships could deepen through a more authentic connection to your feelings and others? A more satisfying, successful, and peaceful life is attainable when you work with Sharyn Nichols, marriage and family therapist and life guide. Connect through her website, feeltoheal.com, or her email, SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com, to learn more about the Feel to Heal process. Isn't it time for you to start healing?
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols Show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning into the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. This has been one of my favorite topics. I have truly gotten so much from it in terms of the realization of how far I have actually come for myself. So thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing me to show up as myself, allowing me to show up in my power without having to be forceful. So Norman Vincent Peale said, people become really quite remarkable when they start thinking they can do things. And also, when you embrace your power, you are better able to empower others. So the statement that I made before I gave the Norman Vincent Peale quote, it sounded a bit self-serving, didn't it? And that's what I think a lot of us avoid doing, because we don't want to come off sounding that way, as though we are egoic, that it's coming from my ego. So I purposely said that, knowing that I was going to start talking about how you can be so quite remarkable when you actually start thinking that you can actually do things. So remember, it just takes a little bit of force, positive energy, to get the ball rolling. So that force can come from courage to actually take the step to move yourself out of your belief system that you are the victim, or that things can only go one way, the negative way, and that this is just the way things are. Because the way things are is never always the same. I know I use never and always in that sentence, because there is stability in change. That means that things are always going to change, and you get to know that. You always get to know that things will change. So another really great quote from Marianne Williamson said that your acceptance of power gives permission to others to accept their own. So that's also what I'm saying. Because I'm anchoring in my power, you get to anchor in your own. I support you. She also said there's beauty in using or transferring power consciously with good intent. Again, where I'm coming from. So you get to claim your right to choose how to use your power today and every day. So use force, a little bit of it, to get you moving. You don't need to go out into the world and force things to happen, because that only ends up looking badly. I mean, that's what, people shy away from those who are yelling and screaming and are trying to force their way into things. You get so much more with kindness. What's the expression? You get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And it's true. Maybe go out and do an experiment for yourself and see whether that actually is true for you. Because the kinder the nicer you are, positively, being in touch with and using your power, things will start happening. Because the second you try and force things to happen, that's when everyone around you shuts down. It's about creating that positive energy for yourself and those around you. And then it's sharing it. I know I've mentioned before that I have a really good friend who embraces and is so happy for everyone and their achievements and their kids and all of it. And it took me the longest time to be able to do that, because I was either envious or jealous or, and that's a lower based energy. And I realized that was me then giving up my power. Although me embracing everyone in their successes, however great or small, and truly being happy for them, is me rolling out more power, more positivity, which then just feeds upon itself. Again, you get to choose how you are going to use your power. Use it for good. Use your powers for good. It's necessary to have some determination, because that's actually good. Having a goal in mind and using patience, because trying to force things, as I mentioned before, will only make you more frustrated and prevent you from tapping into your own power. So patience, have patience with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Use your power to be kind to yourself and kind to those around you. And it's incredible how it can grow. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I welcome it. I look for it. I use it. Because there is so much negativity and so much harshness and meanness already going on in the world. And why do you need to tap into it too? You can be the catalyst for change. You can show up differently using your power. Just show up differently. I can't thank you enough for tuning in to today's show. Feel to Heal with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and thank you so much. I have gotten so much out of the show, and even my mother commented today on how much.
Thank you for choosing to listen to the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show. Sharyn Nichols will return next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, give up the struggle, feel all you need to feel, and make this week your best one yet.